Okay, this problem has quite a few parts, and it's going to be worth more than most problems. So this is one we'll definitely want to make sure we have a grasp of. So first part's just asking the domain. So domain are the x values. So uh, basically this graph, we're going to assume it keeps going down and to the left. So it goes to the left indefinitely to negative infinity, but it looks like it stops right here. I think if we were to enlarge that, it would be 5.5, and actually we can see that's the answer right there, 5.5. So it might be worth enlarging, it might help. Now the range, we can see that it goes down indefinitely to negative infinity, and its highest point looks like it's going to be 4. So the range is going to be from negative infinity to 4, and including 4, so we put the bracket. It's important that negative infinity goes first. If you switch the order, it's going to be wrong. We always want to go from highest to lowest. Uh, Part C is asking you what are the zeros. That's just code for x-intercepts of the function f. So they're just asking you what x values would make it equal 0. And so it looks like negative 3 would be one. And it also looks like 5.5 would be the other one right there. Now, whatever order you put them in, that's fine. We don't use parentheses or anything. We just use set notation, which will already be in there when you put your answer and when it pops up that part of the question. Okay, the next one's asking you f of 1. Basically, they're saying when x is 1, what is y? So here's when x is 1, and that looks like that pairs up with, once again, if you were to pairs up with if, probably 3.5 if you enlarge it. So we'll say 3.5. Okay, the interval for which it's increasing. So you always want to read from left to right when we do this. And so your answer is the domain for where the y values increase from left to right. So it's increasing from left to right from indefinitely from negative infinity, and then it increases, and then stops right there. It looks like a 2. So it's increasing from negative infinity to 2. Always use parentheses on our intervals for increasing and decreasing, so you don't have to worry about brackets on those. The next one is where's it decreasing? Well, then it looks like it's decreasing after we pass 2 to 5.5. So from 2 to 5.5, it's decreasing. Okay, this next question is the hardest part, I guess, is knowing exactly what they're asking. So this notation, they're basically just asking you where on the graph is y less than or equal to 0. So where is, that's what they're asking. Where is y less than or equal to 0? And so it's going to be this part of the graph right here, and then also that point right there, y is actually equal to 0. So we're going to have two parts to this. We're going to have from negative infinity up to when x is, it looks like negative 1.5. Um, negative 1.5. You know what? Now that I'm looking at this, I have a hard time looking at this. I think this 0 up here is actually negative 1.5. Sorry, it's kind of with those twos jumbled there. I had a hard time reading that. So yeah, actually, I think that 0 up here is actually 1.5. Okay, so back to this problem. So we have that, and then also there's another answer right here at 5.5. Now the relative maxima or minima, we have a one right here. Let me erase this so we can see this better. So right here, this is the highest point or the relative maximum point, right? And so that would be when x equals 2. So it might ask you for the ordered pair. It's at 2, or else they might ask you for the ordered pair, so it'd be at 2, 4. So you'll just have to see. Uh, Part I, which values of the x for which f of x equals 0. So basically, once again, if you understand what they're asking here, it's not that difficult. They're asking you what x values does y equal 4. So y equals 4 at that value of 2 that we were just looking at for the maxima right there, the relative maxima right there. So when x is 2, y is 4, and that seems to be the only one. And then this is kind of interesting. It says, is f of 4 positive or negative? So f of 4, so when f of 4 is basically saying, so f of 4 is probably about 2.5 or so, which is positive. So the answer would be positive. Okay, another question right here is to graph this using transformations. So first of all, you have to know what that looks like. That's a parabola that would look about like this. Just doing a little rough sketch, okay? And so you're going to use transformations to move all those points. So we always start with our horizontal transformation. So whatever you add to x directly prior to the square power, that's going to cause your horizontal shift. And so you would think plus 2, oh, I'd shift to the right. Actually, it's going to be the opposite. We're going to go left 2. So you're going to take all these points and they're all going to move to the left 2. But then we have another transformation right here. We have this minus 4. So you plug in x. What's happening is you're adding 2 to it. That causes a left 2. And then after that, all the results are getting subtracted by 4. That's going to cause you to go down 4. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this on the computer. So here's the same problem. So I'm going to go ahead and click to enlarge. Okay. And so you just put your parabola on there. It's going to pop up there. And then you can see we have vertical and horizontal transformations. So let's start with the horizontal transformation. So the transformation was left 2. So let me see how this is going to work. Okay, so I'm going to have to put it in as -2 so that it will shift to the left 2. And then we went down 4, so I'm going to put in -4 for that one. And that causes me to shift down 4. Let's save it. Let's check it. And that looks good. So hopefully that kind of helps you out on your transformations.